Hi, I'm Ramzan from Chemistry Unseen YouTube channel. In the previous video, we discussed some basic terms related to coordination compounds such as double salts, complex salts, central metal atom or ion, coordination entity, counter ion, and ligands, etc. In this video, we will learn about the ligands and their classification based on denticity, type of donor atoms, and also their behavior. Let's start with the classification of ligands. As we already know that ligands are group of ions or neutral molecules which coordinate to the central metal cation. So here ligands are classified on the basis of denticity as well as on the basis of their behavior. First we'll see the classification of ligands based on denticity. Here we have different types of ligands based on their denticity. So first one is monodentate, which has only one donor atom, bidentate with two donor atoms, tridentate with three donor atoms, tetradentate with four donor atoms, pentadentate with five donor atoms, and hexadentate with six donor atoms. Now, classification based on their behavior, we have mainly three types. First one is flexidentate ligand, second one is ambidentate ligand, and the third one is chelating ligands. Now we'll start with the classification based on their denticity. First one is unidentate or monodentate ligands, the ligands with only one donor sites. Here ligands which can coordinate to the central metal ion through only one donor atom, and these monodentate ligands can form only one coordinate bond with the central metal atom, and each monodentate ligand can donate only one pair of electron to the metal cation. So the names of certain anionic ligands are obtained by replacing the last letter E of the ligand by O. For example, if the ligand is ending with a suffix IDE, then the name of that anionic ligand is obtained by replacing the E of the IDE with O in order to get IDO. Similarly, the anionic ligand which is ending with ITE, so the ending E is replaced with O in order to get ITO, and the ligand which is ending with ATE, so here E is replaced with O in order to get ATO. Let's see some of the examples of these unidentate or monodentate ligands in the next slide. So here I have mentioned some negative ligands. The first one is F minus. So simply generally we call F minus as fluoride ion. So here ending is IDE. So the name of this ligand is obtained by replacing the E with O. So it may be fluoro or fluorido. Similarly, chloro or chlorido, bromo or bromido, iodo or iodido, like this. So when it comes to the NH2 minus, don't be confused with all these four terms. NH2 minus is amido, whereas NH2 minus is amido, and N to the power 3 minus is nitrido, and simply N3 minus is azido. Be remember these ligands. Next, here I have mentioned some neutral ligands. Simply PPS3 is called triphenyl phosphine, and CS3 twice NH is dimethylamine, NS2 is hydrazine, and CS3O CS3 is dimethyl ether, N2 is simply dinitrogen, and O2 is simply dioxygen. But there are some neutral ligands which are given special names. Here water is simply written as aqua, CO is written as carbonyl, and NS3 is written as amine, NO is written as nitrosyl, CS is called as thiocarbonyl, and NS is called as thionitrosyl. In coordination and organometallic compounds, the nitrosyl ligand exists as NO plus or NO minus. But when we are going to write the name of ammonia ligand, there we have to mention double M. Now, the donating tendency of these ligands follows the order carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. The electron donating tendency of carbon is greater than that of nitrogen, which is greater than that of oxygen. To the next, we will move on to the bidentate or didentate ligands. Bidentate ligands are those which are having two donor sites. So here ligands can coordinate to the central metal ion through two donor atoms, and each bidentate ligand can form two coordinate bonds with the central metal atom, and these ligands can form ring-like structures when they coordinate with the central metal ion. Here I have mentioned some of the examples: oxalate ion C2O4 minus, ethylene diamine NS2 CS2 CS2 NS2. Here both the nitrogen atoms are donor atoms. And one more example is glycinate ion CS2 NS2 COO minus. Here both COO minus and NS2 groups are attached to the CS2 carbon. Here we have some examples of complexes. In tris ethylene diamine cobalt 3 complex, there are three ligands, bidentate ligands, which are coordinate to the central metal atom, that is cobalt. Similarly, we have one more example, chromium complex, where oxalate ligand is present. So here is a note: each bidentate ligand donates two pair of electrons to the central metal atom, and ethylene diamine is abbreviated as En, oxalate ion is abbreviated as OX. Similarly, glycinate ion is abbreviated as GLY. So we use some abbreviated forms while writing the complexes. Next is here oxalate ion. You can see in oxalate ion there are two oxygen atoms which carries negative charge, means they are the donor atoms, and these two oxygen, when donate their electrons to the central metal atom, they are going to form a ring. Similarly, one more example, ethylene diamine. So here both the nitrogen atoms are having lone pair of electrons, so they can readily give their electrons to the central metal atom. One more example, 2,2 bipyridine. Here there are two pyridine rings which are attached to each other. There are two nitrogen which carries lone pair of electrons. And last one more example is glycinate ion. Here in glycinate ion, the two donor atoms are different. One is nitrogen and one more is oxygen. So nitrogen and oxygen can donate their electrons to the central metal ion, and they can form two coordinate bonds with the central metal ion. Next, we will see symmetrical and unsymmetrical ligands. So bidentate ligands, they may have two donor atoms same, or they may have two different donor atoms. Based on that, we have symmetrical ligands and unsymmetrical ligands. The bidentate ligands with two donor atoms are same. If both the donor atoms are same, then it is called symmetrical ligand, and if both the donor atoms are different in bidentate ligands, they are called as unsymmetrical ligands. Let's see some example for symmetrical ligands and unsymmetrical ligands. So here in ethylene diamine, both the donor atoms are same, that is nitrogen. In oxalato ion, both the donor atoms are oxygen, and in 2,2 bipyridine, again both the donor atoms are same, and in last example acetyl acetonato, the donor atoms are oxygens. Hence all these examples are symmetrical ligands. Now when it comes to unsymmetrical ligands, if you see in glycinate ion, the two donor atoms are not same, they are different. one is nitrogen and one is oxygen. So hence it is a unsymmetrical ligand. And similarly, one more example is oxygenato ligand. Now these bidentate ligands form rings with the central metal atom. Now the question is how to find the number of rings formed by these bidentate ligands. It is very simple. Just what we have to do is we have to subtract 1 from its denticity. For example, ethylene diamine has 2 donor atoms, so its denticity is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So ethylene diamine forms only one ring with the central metal ion. Next one is tridentate ligands, the ligands with 3 donor atoms. So here ligands which possess 3 donor atoms and they can form 3 coordinate bonds with the central metal ion. Here we have an example, diethylene triamine. Here all the 3 amine groups are separated by 2 ethylene groups, so simply it is diene. Next we'll see tetradentate and pentadentate ligands. Tetradentate ligands have 4 donor sites and the pentadentate ligands have 5 donor sites. Means they can form 5 coordinate bonds with the central metal atom. So here example for tetradentate ligand is triethylene tetramine. All the 4 amine groups are separated by the 3 ethylene groups. So simply it is triene. For example, in pentadentate ligand, I have an example tetraethylene pentamine. So here all the 5 amine groups are separated by 4 ethylene groups. And one more example is ethylene diamine triacetate ion. In this ligand, there are 3 oxygen atoms which carries negative charge and 2 nitrogen atoms which carries lone pair of electrons. So 3 plus 2 it is 5. So its denticity is 5. Hence it is a pentadentate ligand. Next one is hexadentate ligands. Hexadentate ligands are those which have 6 donor atoms and can form 6 coordinate bonds with the central metal ion. Here we have an example EDTA. EDTA is a short form of ethylene diamine tetraacetate ion. Since this EDTA bonds to a metal ion through 6 donor atoms, therefore it forms highly stable complexes and in general it is used to hold metal ions in solution. EDTA ligand is also used to trap metal ions such as Mg2 plus and Ca2 plus ions in hard water. And one more use of this EDTA is to treat in the lead poisoning. Here we have the structure of EDTA. In this ligand, there are 4 oxygen atoms which carries a negative charge and 2 nitrogen atoms which carries lone pair of electrons. So totally 4 oxygen, 2 nitrogen. So it is hexadentate ligand. In this slide, we will see the classification of ligands on their behavior. So the first one is flexidentate ligands. There are some ligands which have 2 or more donor atoms, but they do not necessarily use all its donor sites to form coordinate bond with the central metal atom are called flexidentate ligands. Here in EDTA, there are 6 donor sites possible, but sometimes this EDTA behaves as tridentate, sometimes tetradentate, and sometimes it is hexadentate. For example, in the first chromium complex, first example, the EDTA behaves as a pentadentate ligand. In the palladium complex, the EDTA ligand behaves as a tetradentate ligand. Now, the question is how to know the denticity of this EDTA in the complex. That means how to know how many number of coordinate bonds are formed by the EDTA ligand. So it's simple. just simply we have to subtract the number of hydrogen atoms from the density of this EDTA. So in the first complex, chromium complex, one hydrogen atom is there. So 6 minus 1, it is 5. So the EDTA behaves as pentadentate. And in the palladium complex, there are two hydrogen atoms with EDTA. So density of EDTA is 6 and minus 2, it gives 4. It acts as a tetradentate ligand. There are several ligands which have two or more donor atoms. These ligands can behave as monodentate as well as bidentate. Here we have certain examples: carbonate, sulfite, sulfate, nitrate, dinitrogen, dioxygen, and hydrazine. When these ligands behave as monodentate, they form non-chelated complex. Here we have an example where the sulfate is making only one coordinate bond with the central metal atom, and it is going to act as a monodentate ligand. But when these ligands behave as a bidentate, they form chelated complexes with 3 or 4 membered rings. So here we have an example. Here sulfate ion behaves as a bidentate ligand. It can donate electron through both the oxygen atoms to the central metal ion and makes a 4-membered ring including central metal ion. The non-chelated complexes so formed are really stable as compared with the chelated complex with a 3 or 4 membered rings, which are unstable because of the steric strain. Here we have an exciting example. Sulfate ion prefers to act as monodentate ligand. Now the question is why? Let's see here. In the first complex, sulfate is acting as a bidentate ligand, and in the second complex, sulfate ion is acting as a monodentate ligand, and it is going to form only one coordinate bond with the central metal ion. As I already said, the non-chelated complexes are really stable as compared to the chelated complexes with 3 or 4 membered rings. So when this sulfate ion acts as a bidentate ligand, it is going to make a 4-membered ring including cobalt. So the 4-membered rings are quite unstable. It is because of the steric strain. Hence, sulfate ion always prefers to act as a monodentate ligand. Now, the next one is ambidentate ligands. The monodentate ligands, which have two or more different donor atoms, can coordinate to a metal cation through either of the two different atoms. These ligands are called as ambidentate ligands. When these ligands coordinate to the central metal ion through either of the two different donor atoms, they are going to form two different compounds, which are also called linkage isomers. Here we have some of the examples for ambidentate ligands. So first one example, when this nitrite ion. In nitrite ion, there are two donor atoms. One is nitrogen and one more is oxygen. But when this nitrite ion donates its electron through the nitrogen, so it is going to make one compound. And when it donates its electron through the oxygen atom, it is going to make another compound. These two compounds are not same, they are different. One more example is here in the thiocyanate, when the donor atom is S, so it is thiocyanate S, and when the donor atom is nitrogen, it is thiocyanate N. Similarly, one more example, cyanide. In cyanide, carbon having lone pair of electrons and nitrogen is also having lone pair of electrons. When the donor atom is carbon, it is simply cyanido, and when the donor atom is nitrogen, it is isocyanido. Now the last one is chelating ligands. The ligands which after donating their electrons to the central metal atom forms ring. Such ligands are called chelating ligands. These chelating ligands form rings including central metal ion. Here the chelating ligands which forms 5 to 6 membered rings are more stable than 3 or 4 membered rings. We have an example in bis ethylene diamine copper 2 complex. The 2 ethylene diamine ligands are going to make 4 coordinate bonds with the central metal atom, and they are going to make 2 5 membered rings. Here we have one question: which complex is more stable among the following? Here we have two complexes in which the central metal ion is same but the ligands are different. In the first complex, ethylene diamine is the ligand, and in the second complex, EDTA is the ligand. In the first complex, that is tris ethylene diamine iron 3 complex. So here this ethylene diamine forms mainly 3 5-membered rings, and in ethylene diamine tetraacetate iron 3 complex, EDTA forms only one 6-membered ring. Now the question is, which complex is more stable? Because here both the complexes are forming the rings. Then how to decide which complex is more stable than the other one? The answer is very simple. The complex with more number of rings is more stable than the complex with the lesser number of rings. So here in this case, iron or tris-ethylene diamine iron 3 complex is forming mainly 3 5-membered rings, whereas EDTA complex forming only one 6-membered ring. Hence, ethylene diamine complex is more stable than the EDTA complex. So far, we have discussed the types of ligands based on their density and behavior. In the next video, we will discuss about the nomenclature of complex compounds. If you like my video, don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you.